You've been crying over bills. You've been wrestling in your mind over how the next month is going to look. You've been fighting with invisible weight pressing against your chest every time you look at your bank account. And the enemy's been whispering, "You're not going to make it this time." But listen to me, child of God. Heaven is speaking over your life today, and it's saying, "I have already assigned angels to handle your finances forever." God is not running out of resources. His vaults are not limited. His power has not diminished. The God who fed Elijah by sending ravens in the sky, the same God who brought water out of a rock, the same God who rained down manna from heaven, is the same God who is looking at you right now and saying, "Why are you worried when I have already gone before you?" Chosen one, I want you to understand something deep today. God's provision is not seasonal. It's eternal. It's permanent. It's rooted in covenant, not in circumstance. He is not waiting to bless you based on the economy. He's not deciding based on what you see in your paycheck. He's already moved. He's already set it up. He's already made the call in heaven's throne room and said, "Assign them what they need daily." When you were crying about how you were going to make it through the week, God already released provision that you haven't even seen yet. He assigned angels, yes, financial angels, to go ahead of you and make sure things start lining up without your hands even touching them. That sudden refund, that unexpected opportunity, that door that opened when it should have stayed shut, that was heaven moving on your behalf. That wasn't luck. That wasn't coincidence. That was covenant. God is not looking at your bank balance. He's looking at your faith balance. And He's seeing that even though you've been through fire, you didn't give up. You didn't sell out. You didn't compromise. You kept walking. You kept trusting. You kept trusting. And because you did, He's saying to you now, "I am taking care of this. Not for a week, not for a month, forever. Let this word wash over you, forever. Not temporarily, not conditionally, but permanently." When God declares something over your life, no demon in hell can reverse it. No economy can cancel it. No delay can deny it. And what He's speaking today is financial peace. Not just financial provision, financial peace. Because He's not just trying to give you more money, He's trying to take away your fear of lack. Some of you are going to wake up and see miracles where there was once minus. You're going to see surplus where there was once struggle. You're going to feel divine rest where there was once tension. And it won't make sense to people around you, but it will make sense in the spirit. Because what you carry is not normal. What you carry is prophetic. You are not meant to live in survival mode. You are not designed to live under stress. You are chosen to walk in divine supply. The Lord said, "I will supply all your needs according to my riches in glory." That means it's not about your salary, it's not about your resume, it's not about your connections, it's about His riches, and those riches are infinite. So, stop crying, stop stressing, stop calculating how it's going to work out. It already has. In the unseen realm, it's already settled. Just walk it out, child of God. Just step in faith. The supply chain of heaven has no delay. God is taking care of your finances, not for a moment, but forever. And if you believe that, then receive it, speak it, and live like it's already done. I want you to do 3 things to awaken the energy of this moment. Pause this video, hit the like button so this message reaches other chosen souls, and subscribe to join thousands of radiant spirits walking this divine path. Then, type the number 777 in the comments below. This is a powerful symbol of spiritual alignment and divine favor. When you do this, you're sending a signal to the universe that you are ready to receive everything God has prepared for you. If you are truly one of the chosen, you will stay with me until the very end because your soul already knows this truth is meant just for you. Now let me speak to your spirit. Worry is not your portion. I know what life tries to do to the chosen ones. It throws bills at you like weapons. It plays games with your paycheck. It surrounds your mind with fear and makes you feel like you're constantly running out of money, of time, of options. But I need you to hear me, and not just with your ears. Hear me with your spirit. That heaviness, that tightness in your chest every time you check your account, that doesn't belong to you. That is not your portion. That is not your inheritance. That is not what God wrote in your story. God is telling you right now, trust is your new currency. Not paper, not plastic, not what's in your savings, not what the world calls credit. He's saying, I'm shifting your foundation. You've been building on fear and I'm switching you over to faith. When you trust, truly trust, heaven responds. Doors open, answers come, miracles manifest. But it starts with trust, not with toil. You've been conditioned to grind, to panic, to hustle like your life depends on it, and while hard work is honorable, fear-based survival is not your destiny. God didn't call you to be anxious every night, worried if you can keep the lights on, wondering if you'll be able to afford peace. No, He called you to walk by faith, not by financial fear. He called you to rise above the noise and hear His voice saying, I have already made a way. Let me tell you this. When you trust, something supernatural happens in the atmosphere. Heaven begins to move resources. God starts whispering your name in rooms you've never entered. Unexpected favor starts attaching itself to your name. People begin to pour into you. Not because you begged, not because you asked, but because trust activated the laws of divine provision. You weren't meant to chase money. You were meant to attract what aligns with your spirit, and that starts with trust. Every time you choose to worry, you're choosing to agree with lack. But every time you choose to trust, you're aligning yourself with abundance. You are chosen, not forsaken. You are provided for, not forgotten. You are held by the hand of the one who never lets go. So why are you clinging to worry like it's your safety net? Let go. Release it. God's got this. He's not preparing to help you. He already has. The world teaches you to rely on what you see. But God teaches you to believe what He said. And He said, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or what you will drink, for your heavenly Father knows you need these things. That's not just scripture, that's strategy, that's your blueprint, that's your invitation to stop surviving and start trusting. So starting today, make a declaration. Worry is no longer my language. Fear is no longer my default. Anxiety is no longer welcome in my home. I choose trust. I choose peace. I choose divine supply over human stress. Because I know that when I trust, the heavens respond and provision chases me down. And if you receive this word deep in your spirit, just say it out loud with me right now. Worry is not my portion. Trust is my inheritance. Let me talk to you about something most people never understand until it's too late. Financial attacks are not just about money. They are spiritual distractions. They are weapons formed against your peace, your purpose, and your identity. When you're chosen, the enemy knows he cannot touch your calling, so he targets your focus. He shakes your foundation not to destroy you, but to distract you. Because if you're looking at what's missing, you'll forget what's coming. If you're staring at the bill, you'll miss the blessing. If you're consumed by lack, you'll overlook the lesson. And right now, some of you have been under attack. Not because you're failing, but because you're elevating. You've been asking, why me? Why now? But you need to flip that question and start asking, why not me? What is it about me that makes hell nervous? Chosen one, you're not under attack because you're weak. You're under attack because you're powerful. You're not being tested because you're lost. You're being tested because you're being trusted. Let that sink in. Heaven trusts you with pressure. Heaven trusts you with the tension. Heaven trusts you with a trial because it knows what's coming next is too big to be built on shaky ground. So this attack, it's confirmation. The struggle, it's validation. The warfare, it's proof you're next in line for something heavy with glory. And here's what's wild. The attack didn't even begin until you decided to walk in obedience. That's not a coincidence. That's a spiritual pattern. Every time you get closer to alignment, the enemy tries to disrupt your focus with fear, with sudden loss, with unexpected financial hits. But the moment you realize this battle isn't about money, it's about momentum, you start seeing it clearly. This isn't about numbers. This isn't about your rent. This is about your rise. This is about keeping you from seeing how close you are to break through. Let me remind you of something. God is not absent in your lack. He is active in your lack. Sometimes He allows the discomfort because it produces clarity. Sometimes He permits the pressure because it purifies your priorities. You stop relying on the system. You stop leaning on people. And you start listening to the Spirit. You stop praying shallow prayers and start declaring with authority. You stop saying, "I hope things get better," and start saying, "I know my God is already working this for my good." Right now you might be in a season that looks like instability, but it's actually intimacy. God is drawing you closer, not pushing you away. And while you're focusing on what's been taken, God is setting the table for what's about to be given. Don't fall for the trap. Don't let fear hijack your faith. Don't let a temporary storm convince you it's permanent. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The test is temporary, but the testimony will last forever. This moment in your life is not the end of the story. It's a chapter. It's a comma, not a period. The test is to tie. The enemy wants you to give up in the middle of the sentence. But I came to tell you, God's not done. The financial pressure was never about money. It was about your mission. And the fact that you're still standing, still listening, still believing, that tells me you're going to pass this test. You're going to come out not just with more money, but with more mastery. Mastery over fear. Mastery over doubt. Mastery over everything that once made you question your value. So when the enemy comes whispering that this is the end, I want you to speak back with fire in your spirit and say, "This is not the end. It's the setup for something greater than I can even imagine." Let me speak something into your soul that religion might not have told you, but heaven needs you to hear it today. Wealth follows obedience. That's it. Not hustle, not manipulation, not chasing money like it's the answer to your prayers. The flow of provision, real, supernatural, unstoppable provision, is attracted to the sound of your obedience. Every time you say yes to God when it's uncomfortable, you're not just aligning with His will, you're unlocking access to divine resources. That obedience, even when it feels small, echoes in the heavens and causes doors to open you didn't even knock on. That obedience is currency in the spirit realm. People wonder why they tithe but don't prosper, why they serve but still struggle. It's because God is not looking for performance. He's looking for alignment. You can't bribe God with spiritual routine while ignoring the specific assignment He's placed on your life. When He told you to leave that job and you stayed because it paid well, you blocked the flow. When He nudged you to sow into someone and you hesitated out of fear, you paused the blessing. When He told you to walk away from that partnership, that deal, that comfort zone, and you argued instead of obeying, you didn't delay Him, you delayed you. Wealth in the kingdom isn't just about money, it's about movement. When you move in the direction God tells you, even if it doesn't make sense, provision starts chasing you down. But you can't carry both control and blessing. You've got to drop one to receive the other. The enemy wants to keep you in a cycle of disobedience masked as logic. He'll whisper, "Be smart, be smart." Wait, hold off. You can't afford that risk. But God's saying, what you can't afford is another year of ignoring me. Delayed obedience is still disobedience, and disobedience shuts the windows of heaven. Look at Abraham. God told him to go and he went. Didn't ask for a map. Didn't ask how much it would cost. Didn't ask who was coming with him. Just moved. And on the other side of that obedience came wealth, legacy, impact. That's not just his story. That's your inheritance too. You've been praying for increase, but God's been waiting for movement. You've been asking for overflow, but heaven's asking for order. Are you where He told you to be? Are you doing what He told you to do? Or are you still negotiating with what you were called to walk away from? This isn't a punishment. It's a principle. Obedience opens the path where resources already exist. You're not convincing God to bless you. He's already set the blessing in place. Your obedience is what brings you into the location where the blessing already lives. There are places in your life where provision has been waiting, but you've been delayed because fear told you it was too risky. But faith doesn't wait for the storm to pass. It walks into the wind with trust. Listen to me. When you obey, even when it costs you, even when it scares you, even when it stretches you, something shifts. You start walking into favor that doesn't match your resume. You start receiving from unexpected sources. You start living under open skies, not closed ceilings. And suddenly, the money that used to feel miles away begins showing up on your path, not because you chased it, but because you followed him. Obedience may cost you comfort, but it pays in miracles. And I declare over you right now, as you step in alignment, as you walk in radical trust, wealth, not just financial, but emotional, spiritual, relational, will begin to locate you. The drought ends where obedience begins. And if you believe that, say this with boldness. I'm not chasing money. I'm following God, and money is following me. You've been looking at your bank account and asking, God, what did I do wrong? You've been staring at the lack, at the delay, at the silence, and thinking maybe you're being punished. Maybe you missed something. Maybe God is upset with you. But let me break that lie right now. Your lack is not punishment, it's preparation. Let that sink deep into your spirit. The season you're in right now is not evidence that you failed. It's proof that God is getting ready to elevate you. You're not in the wilderness because you're forgotten. You're in the wilderness because you're being formed. You've got to understand something. Every chosen one goes through the process of refinement. And refinement never looks glamorous. It looks like isolation. It looks like not enough. It looks like everyone else is getting ahead while you're barely hanging on. But in the spirit realm, you're not falling behind. You're being shaped for supernatural overflow. See, if God had given you the blessing when you first asked for it, you might have lost it. You might have worshipped the gift instead of the giver. You might have built your identity around the provision instead of His presence. But He loves you too much to bless you before you're ready to carry it. What you're experiencing now is not divine punishment, it's divine training. He's teaching you how to steward. He's building capacity. He's strengthening your character. Because the blessing He's preparing you for doesn't just require skill. It requires depth. It requires trust. It requires a maturity that only comes from pressing through the dry seasons. You're not just being held back, you're being rooted. And rooted people don't get blown away by the wind. Rooted people don't crack under pressure. Rooted people hold weight. So what looks like delay is actually design. God is not ignoring you. He's insulating you. He's hiding you. He's protecting what's precious. The same way a seed is buried in the ground before it ever breaks the surface, you've been buried not to die but to grow. And when it's time, you won't just rise. You'll rise with fruit. You'll rise with influence. You'll rise with a testimony that can't be denied. I know it feels like you've been overlooked. I know the enemy has whispered, if God really chose you, why are you still struggling? But you need to respond in the spirit, because I'm being prepared for greater. There is a difference between lack that is caused by disobedience and lack that is allowed by God to produce deeper purpose. And in your case, this lack is not a consequence. It's a classroom. You're learning how to trust beyond what you see. You're learning how to believe when there's no physical evidence. That's the faith of the chosen. That's the language of kings and queens in the making. Let me tell you something that will change how you view every struggle. God always breaks before He builds. He breaks the fear. He breaks the ego. He breaks the ego. He breaks the dependency on material things. And only then does He release the blessing. You're not going through this to stay in it. You're going through it to be equipped for the next level. And when the overflow comes, and it will come, it won't break you. It'll fit you. Because you were prepared for it. So the next time you feel lack knocking on your door, don't let shame answer. Let faith answer. Stand up in your spirit and say, this is not punishment, it's preparation. And I declare right now, if you hold on, if you don't give up, you're going to see a shift so powerful that people will say, only God could have done that. You've spent years thinking you had to chase money, that if you just worked harder, pushed longer, grinded more than the next person, then maybe, just maybe, you'd finally arrive at that place of financial peace. But chosen ones weren't created to chase, you were created to attract. What belongs to you isn't running away from you. It's being commanded to find you. You need to understand the spiritual shift happening around your life right now. Money is not your master, it's your servant. It's not leading you, it's following you. Because when you walk in divine alignment, provision isn't something you have to force. It flows. It responds to your presence. It hears your obedience. It recognizes your authority. This is what the world doesn't understand about those who are truly chosen. They see your struggle and assume you're falling behind. But what they can't see is that heaven is orchestrating a divine reversal. Money is being reassigned, resources are being rerouted, favor is being recalibrated. And it's not because you manipulated the system or played by the world's rules. It's because you stood in integrity. You trusted God when it didn't make sense. You obeyed when it cost you. And now, everything you thought you had to chase is about to show up with your name on it. God is bringing you into a season where you don't have to strive for survival. You live from supply. You don't beg, you bless. You don't compete, you command. This is the anointing on your life now. The shift has already happened in the unseen realm, and what's been assigned to your name is being drawn to you, not by your hustle, but by your wholeness. Because when you are whole, when your heart is anchored, when your spirit is aligned with God's timing and not man's pressure, you become magnetic in the spirit. Opportunities find you. Investors notice you. Miracles meet you in motion. That's the power of divine flow. The world wants you to believe that money only comes through exhaustion. That if you're not always tired, you're not really earning, but that's not your portion. The blessing of the Lord makes rich and adds no sorrow to it. That means no burnout, no breakdown, no selling your soul for a paycheck. You're not called to sacrifice your peace on the altar of productivity. You're called to walk in a supernatural rhythm where provision flows through your purpose. But let me be clear, this isn't about passivity, it's about positioning. You still move, you still show up, you still put your hands to the work, but not out of fear, out of faith. You build because you trust. You plant because you believe in harvest. And in that faith movement, heaven assigns angels to bring what you need to where you are, not the other way around. You're not chasing it down. It's being drawn to your light. And here's the truth. This isn't just about money. This is about influence. This is about territory. This is about divine visibility. The same way money is being commanded to find you, people are being commanded to recognize you. Doors are being told to open when you arrive. Connections are being instructed to respond to your spirit. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. You are divinely marked, and what is yours is being magnetized to your obedience, your authenticity, and your faith. So stop worrying. Stop chasing. Stop chasing. Stop striving like you're behind. You're not behind. You're becoming. And as you become, provision follows. It can't help but follow you, because heaven has spoken your name. And if your spirit agrees, declare this out loud right now. I am not chasing money. Money is being commanded to find me.